Hi, everyone. It's Ursula Adams here, athlete liaison from Brisbane Trail Ultra. And I have the pleasure today of having Devicca, who's from far north Queensland. She is up in Cairns and she is with us from the Indigenous Marathon Foundation project. Devicca has been one of those lucky athletes who got invited to our event. So I'm curious, Dee, how did you feel when Indigenous Marathon Foundation reached out to you and asked you to come and attend?
Hi guys. Shocked, very shocked. I had a Kylie, who's the regional manager for IMF Raw, send me a message, and she's like, "Oh, the Brisbane Trail Ultra has reached out to us guys and wondered if any of our athletes would love to take on the challenge of the Brisbane Trail Ultra." And I was absolutely shocked. I was nervous. I was like, "What the hell?" Can I have a week to think about it at least? Because I think it was the fear of the unknown if I was able to take elevations like that, because I'm a road runner. So all I've done is just road running. Um, but it literally took me less than 5 hours to make up my mind. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll never know until I get it done. So after that, it was all nerves and excitement. And yeah.
So epic. It's so exciting to have you going to be joining us soon and coming down from Cairns to, run the Brisbane Trail Ultra. Have you done any trail running prior to, you being about to conquer Brisbane Trail Ultra?
It's yeah, as I said, when Kylie reached out to me, I was just like, there's no way I cannot do this. But I've never done it, and I'm all about stepping outside my comfort zone. So I thought about my children and what it would look like if I said no to the challenge. So that's my whole reason why I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it.
Fantastic. So awesome. So you're a mum, you're a runner. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did your running journey begin? Are your kids involved in that running journey? What brought you to running in the first place?
um I was in a very tough time in my life. About 7 8 years ago, I went through domestic violence and abuse. Faced depression and anxiety. I was riddled with it. It was actually my best friend, who's an IMP graduate, in 2015. Um, Once she got accepted into the program, I decided to, join her on that running journey. And, as I started running with her, I realized how all the positive impacts that running was doing to me, both physically and mentally. And after, it ended up becoming like every day that I put, you know, waking up, putting my shoes on and stepping out the door, getting a run in was, my biggest accomplishment for the day. And it started rippling into my life. And that was about 7 years ago. And then I decided to join the Deadly Runners, who Harriet David opened up here in Cairns. And I've been running with them ever since. And it's just been one big blessing with the group. Yeah. My kids do run. My son, he's a bit of a runner. He's an extremely great runner. But my two older girls, definitely not.
Wow, Davika, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, that journey that brought you into running is one that was incredibly challenging, you having experienced domestic violence. I mean, I can empathize with what that feels like, but everyone's experience is different. And, being a survivor of that and then having running as a passion and something that inspires you and motivates you to get out the door. And then with that, obviously that was helpful with those feelings of depression and anxiety that you were going through at the time. You're an inspiring woman. You should be really proud of yourself. And your kids, I'm sure, are so proud of their mum and everything that you do in your running.
Definitely. Thank you.
So, Dee, what's your running journey been like prior to this upcoming Brisbane Trail Ultra? Yeah, what's your running race season been like?
I've always loved running as a kid. Growing up watching the elite marathoners on TV, I was amazed at how human beings can just run for ages. So as a child, told myself one day I'm going to run the marathon distance. Once I joined up with Deadly Runners, I was at the beginning, the beginner program where I was walk running. I couldn't even run 50 meters. This was about 7 years ago. And eventually, I got to 5K, 10, then the half marathon. Then my coaches were like, you know what, you can do this marathon if you want it. You've got it in you. So I was really terrified about it. But, I said, you know what, why not? There was this one year where I won Most Deadly Award through the Indigenous Marathon Foundation. And part of the award was to do a marathon event. So I was set for Gold Coast to do my first marathon in 2020, I think, when COVID started, or 2021. Unfortunately, that was cancelled. So we decided to hold our own virtual event here in Cairns. So my first marathon was on the Cairns Esplanade, and that was very tough. It was a very humid, hot day here in Far North Queensland. And ever since that day, I've just loved the distance marathon and been training every year for an event. I've done Gold Coast and Melbourne so far, and our own backyard here in Cairns.
I actually find that's even harder. You're doing a virtual event. You probably don't have the atmosphere of a race that brings you all those, I guess, those feelings that you get, those race feelings when you get to the start line. So doing a virtual event's actually quite hard, I would imagine. And how on earth, like I'm in southern end of Gold Coast and we don't have the humidity that you guys have up in far north Queensland. How do you go training up there in that heat?
Oh, they train them tough up here. Hydration is key up here. You've really got to be hydrated to take on this.
Were there any particular highs or lows of that? Was there anything that got you out of those spots where you felt like, whoa, this is so hard. What am I doing here? Am I going to be able to make it to the finish line? All those race feelings and thoughts that you get in your head at times throughout any race, really. How did you conquer that? Or what did you come up against?
So part of the Indigenous Marathon Foundation, where we get told a lot to have a purpose when we do these events, and it's our whys that drag us over that finish line. So part of my why was just everything that I overcame prior to that event. Surviving domestic violence, having a roof over my head because we were homeless as well, and holding a job for a very long time. So life was on track. So I just wanted to go out there and prove to myself that I'm strong. But this marathon's going to test mentally how strong I am, and I want to be able to get to that finish line. So I also had a best friend of mine who passed away to suicide when I was younger, and he's always been my wife for many years with everything that I've faced. So that day when I was running and facing those hard times, we actually planted a memorial tree on the Esplanade for him. So my first marathon was running past, my best friend's tree. So it was really special. It's probably the most special marathon that I've ran because my why was right there, and every time I'd pass him and think of his journey and my own, that got me to the finish line. I promised him that no matter what, where life takes me, I'll never give up. So that was what dragged me to the finish line. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, G. That actually, there's parts of that story I knew a little bit, but there's some other parts of it that I wasn't aware of, and that actually has brought, some tears to my eyes. Um, you are just one incredible woman, to be able to say your perseverance, to be able to overcome those things and continue on and keep on pushing one foot in front of the other to get to that finish line is just, that's incredible. So I know that you're going to have those reasons in the back of your head, those whys, and that sense of purpose to be able to push you to the finish line. So I can't wait to see what you do. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, moving on to a different sort of topic. With your running and racing, do you have any favorite foods? Any?
Um, I try to keep a well balanced diet. I don't really have much of a routine or anything, but I just stick to making sure I put in the right food because I also suffer from arthritis in my knees. So watching things that flare it up and that, so I'm able to maintain it and continue my training as well. Not really, to be honest.
Okay. Epic.
Yeah,
So you must have a stomach of steel then.
yeah, definitely.
So great. So with that little bit of arthritis in your knee, have there been any tips to prevent or help with that? I guess it's an injury or preventing that flare up for you?
After every run, I've really got to ice it down and just rest my legs. Stretching as well. Taking care of our muscles around the joints. That's been something that I've had to keep on top of. Um, yeah, and other than that, just watching my diet and making sure I don't eat anything that flares it up, as well as a
Yep.
lot of strength work.
Tell me a little bit about your coaching journey because I know you do some coaching yourself. So how did you get involved in that?
Through the Cairns Deadly Runners and Walkers, was given the opportunity through IMF to do a run leaders course back in 2019, and I wanted to give back to the community. So I thought, you know what, yes, please, I'll take that opportunity and started run leading from 2019, and just recently started coaching as well with a triathlon team, just a run coach. And yeah, it's been an excellent journey because I get to work with all different types of athletes, different walks of life. And yeah, it's just been an incredible blessing because it's also my motivation and inspiration comes from these guys that I work with.
Yeah, so great. I know when I came up to meet you the first time a few months back and coming up to Cairns and us running that park run, I could see that you knew so many people out there and there were people out there, saying hey to you on the course the whole time. And so obviously you have some really beautiful influence in that community of people and you're doing some great things up there. So just another thing under your belt, which again you should be so proud of. I think that's just incredible. Sometimes when I see some of your photos, I can see that you guys are out there running with a load of kids and adults of all different ages. Is there anyone that you're coaching in particular who you feel has maybe some real potential there? Is there any up and coming young runners that you feel like are really going to do some incredible things?
Oh, definitely. We have a lot of really good natural born runners in our Cairns Raw team, and so much potential. These kids, they're just amazing. They even come to training barefoot. Like, yeah, they come to training barefoot and they're out there doing speed sessions, and I'm just looking at them real amazed. But yeah, we do. We definitely do. There's a fair few of them, so I don't have a set person, but they're all pretty natural born runners.
Well, there's
Yeah,
someone in particular, another one of your IMF runners who I know um, said that he doesn't wear socks, which I thought was amazing too.
yeah.
A whole different ball game going up there in far north Queensland. You guys are doing some different things. Yeah, it's so great.
like I said, we train tough up here.
I can definitely see that you guys are training them tough. I love it. Absolutely love it, Dee. That's so great. Devicca, are there any funny or memorable running stories you've got to share with us?
I have two. My first marathon, actually, after running 5 hours and 17 minutes, I think it was, in the hot, humid day, I reached the finish line, and one of our raw leaders from Yarrabah Runners and Walkers was standing at the finish line for me with his ready to high five me as I crossed the finish line. And I absolutely just missed him. Like, I seen him there, but I was just like, nah. And he's standing there like, shame job. She just missed giving me that high five. And ever since that day, every finish line, we're always like high 10, give me high 10. Don't forget that high 10. But it was really funny afterwards when I seen the video. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I miss you? You were like right there in front of me. But that was a really funny moment for myself. There's another story. Like I said, I've never done trail running before. It was when you came up, and TJ decided to, because there was apparently a hog, in the trails, and TJ decided to freak you out first, and then you played along with him, and here you guys are screaming out for help, and I'm terrified as it is because you guys are way ahead of me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Devicca, you've got to like step up now, like start being strong. Ursula needs your help out there. She's in trouble. So I'm here trying to put my big girl panties on, and I'm running out to you like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And then he jumps out the tree, scares the living crap out of me. That was scary at the time, but hilarious.
That is bringing back the most hilarious memories for me because I've never met you guys. And to come up there and be running in these trails, and TJ's a bit of a joker and a bit of a prankster, but I didn't know this about him yet. So anyway, you guys were telling me that, yeah, there's like hogs out here. And I'm going, what? Hogs? Like, I've got to be careful of hogs. I'm just thinking about snakes, like I need to be wary of snakes, but hogs? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then next minute, I'm trotting along in the trails, just having a great old time. And then TJ jumps out of the bushes and scares me, and I nearly fly out of my pants. And you're like, oh, are you okay, Ash? Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm thinking, I'm going to play along with this one. So me and TJ are hiding behind the tree. Wait until you came along, and then you lost it. We scared you then. It was just the greatest to see that look on your face.
My heart was racing because here I am already freaking out about snakes and hogs, and then having to step up and get my strength together so I can come out to your rescue, and then you guys just scare me like that.
Sorry, Dee. I'd put the offer out there to come and meet with us today and have a little interview. How did you feel when I shot you a message and asked whether you wanted to be a part of being an interviewee?
Extremely nervous. I'm a very humble person, and for me to get up here and share my story, I was really nervous. It was, again, I'm trying to be about stepping outside my comfort zone and doing things that, I never do. So when you shot that message, at first I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but again, I wanted to do it and say,
You're a really courageous woman. I think it's incredible that you said yes to this experience. And not everyone loves speaking in front of cameras. So it's not a natural thing. So I really appreciate you taking the time with us today. Is there anyone that you want to shout out a big thanks to?
yes, definitely. My children, firstly, yeah, they've been big supporters from having to deal with me, and mum's got to go running and mum's got training, and because I train 5 to 6 days a week as well as everything else in between, and they've just been amazing these past 7 years. But my coach is Nadine Hunt. She's actually the first Indigenous woman to finish the New York Marathon. She's been my coach for the past 6 to 7 years, I think. She's amazing. She's always had my back in every way, and I really appreciate everything that she's done for me, as well as my best friend Harriet David, who's also an IMP graduate. Without her running journey and me supporting her, I don't know where I'd be right now. So that's something that I'm really thankful for. Just our Cairns daily runners and walkers, they've been extremely supportive, and they inspire and motivate me so much.
So you've got loads of people who inspire you out there, the Cairns Deadly Runners, the Indigenous Marathon Foundation, your coach Nadine, some other inspiring women in your life, and your children, of course. So you are one tough woman. I am so very excited to see what you do at Brisbane Trail Ultra, conquering this 30K. For anyone out there watching this, I reckon you need to go up and give Dee a big high five at the start or finish line if you see her. If people are up in Cairns, I know that you do park run every so often. So is that a place people can find you?
Yeah, definitely. You'll catch me definitely park runners.
Awesome. So anyone out there wanting to run up in Cairns, get onto a park run on the Saturday morning, go for a little run with Dee and her group. I'm sure they'd love to have you jump on board. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you chat to us at Brisbane Trail Ultra. Devicca, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'll see you on the start line, I guess. Start and finish line. So yeah, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ursula. I just want to say thank you to the Brisbane Trail Ultra for giving us this opportunity. It's definitely a big challenge for myself and TJ, and we really appreciate it.